Okay, welcome back. So, I'm going to show you how to become the most productive person in 4 videos. This is video number 3, and I'll automatically email you the next video after a week to give you time to learn, absorb, and always time to implement. So, let's get started. The theme this week is all about getting things done. So, let me set this first one up. Imagine a cook in a kitchen with very little counter space. So she has to remove the first ingredient from the fridge, put it on the counter, chop, measure, and add it to the recipe. To use more ingredients, she has to return the first to the fridge to make room for the second, and so on. But what if she had a larger countertop that could accommodate all the ingredients? She'll end up saving time cooking instead of retracing her steps. So the same concept applies to the amount of screen real estate you have on your computer monitor. So the more space you have to lay out your materials, the easier it is to get your job done. So studies show that a second monitor can increase your productivity by 25%. So I find this valuable at work when, let's say, I'm watching a presentation on one screen and I need to look up some supporting data to respond to a question that I think I might be asked in the meeting or that I might want to ask. So I have one screen with the presentation and one with email, or I'm looking at my file manager. Another helpful part is when I'm putting together a Word document and I need the second screen to have another document to research and add, or I'll use Google to research and add to my Word doc. So this will help you get more things done by having dual monitors because you won't be switching between windows constantly and you can laser focus on your productivity. So now let's move on to another concept. Oh, and this is what it looks like with two monitors. That's my actual desktop. So the next technique is make your to-do list actionable. So your to-do list can be a tool that guides you, or it can be taunting you wah, ah, 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 and make you feel unproductively inadequate. But you have the power to change that, honestly. And I have found that so that it's not bullying me, it all depends on how you write it. So first thing I would say is don't write your to-do list. Just remember, just remember your to-do list is not a wish list. So only put items on the list that you're definitely going to do. Put someday maybe on another list. So keep your list short. I try to have no more than 7 items for my day. That's the max that I'll do. Because I really want to feel like I can get them all done and I don't want to set myself up for failure. And then I break it down. So instead of cleaning out the inbox, right? Or here I have develop a 3-year strategy, right? This is a good one. That's a huge mountain to climb. So you got to break it into smaller, manageable tasks, such as, okay, I can make a list of 10 people to interview and see what they thought about the current strategy, and that will help me. Oh, and then I could, and the next one could be I could write the like 10 questions that I want to ask them, and then the next item can be, and you get the point. And if you have any items that have been on your list for weeks, these are prime for breaking down. Here's another example. You want to present at a conference. That's again a big undertaking. So for me, it would be, well, you know what? I want to talk to somebody who is running the conference and find out like who's usually in the audience, what's the demographic, and what are the logistics. Is there going to be, can I bring my laptop? So finding that stuff out is the first starting point. There's always a next step. So don't write them like this, write them like this. So you can do this and you can do this. You can make a phone call. You can make a list of 10 people. And it's baby steps again. This is that Kaizen thing that I was talking about. It's continuous improvement. Okay, the next technique is to set up a power hour. So who has days where they felt like the day just got away from them? Like they came in with the best of intentions to get something done, but somehow they left that day and they were like, what the heck just happened? I didn't, everything that I wanted to do, it didn't get done. So there's one way to ensure that you'll knock at least one thing off your list. Dedicate the first hour of your day to the most important task before you check your email or go to any meetings. If an hour is not feasible, start small. Dedicate the first 15 minutes. Work up to 30. Work up to an hour. So I park on a downward slope. And what I mean by that is I set myself up for success. So before I end my day, I choose something small but important. Or I look at I've really already calendar out my week the way I do it. So I always put stuff that I want there, but I usually will carve out some time that I know that I'm going to have things that come up that I want to get done. And so I get that first thing done when I come in, and then I check my email. Even if it's a small task, I'll tackle it first. And even if it only takes me 15 minutes and I don't need the whole hour, it just sets the tone for the day, regardless of the fires that pop up. I never thought this would work for me because my work is in my email. But I've tried this and I found that's exactly the problem, which is why I'm glad I have that one hack from the first video of I keep my Outlook offline. So when I do log in, I'm already in offline mode. So I don't get immediately distracted and seeing all the subject lines. An example of how this has worked for me is that those previous to-do list items, those are real things that I wrote down for me. Like I needed to I need to figure out 10 people to interview. So, however, if I didn't carve out the first hour of my day to get those two items done, plus schedule an appointment with my doctor, then my day could have easily taken over my priorities. So at the very least, I know I got those three things done that were my most important tasks, and the rest of the day could be about responding to fires. But if I did firefighting all day from the moment I walked in, I can tell you I'd be pretty resentful when I came home to my husband. So here's your action plan. I want you to implement techniques. So you've got add a second monitor. I want you to start looking at, hopefully you already created a to-do list. And if not, I'm going to create another video about that one. It's really a lot easier to do than you think. And there's some great apps out there. But if you do, try to make it short and actionable. And then pay yourself first. Set up that power hour. So next week is the final video, which is going to be a combination of automation plus data security. I know you're probably thinking security, you want to snore. It's like a snore fest, but you definitely don't want to miss this one because one of my favorite game changer transformational techniques is there. So I'll see you next week.